Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Freedom Fighters issue number 10 from DC Comics. We're going to continue this fun, in my opinion, series, and I'm having a blast with this one. I didn't know it. These comics were so much fun, although less serious than the comics that I'm usually reviewing, but fun nonetheless. And sometimes I need a break from all this seriousness. I need to read stuff like this. Unfortunately, I don't have every Freedom Fighters books, so at some point I cannot go any further. But we're gonna see how much we can do. So in the last issue, Dollman has murdered a DA, and he's now in prison in a bird cage. And then Uncle Sam, Human Bomb, Phantom Lady, and what's this guy? Skyman? Is it Skyman? I don't know. Condor, maybe. Good. Black Condor, yeah, well, almost, right? And they kind of believe that he is being framed as a murderer, right? And they also, look out for DeRay, and because they are still looking for the Silver Ghost, or also known as Americommando, but actually the Silver Ghost, right? Because he's just, he was impersonating himself as a hero, but he wasn't. So they say, hey, we need to split up because we have some missions to do somewhere in else. And then Condor says, hey, I've got to look for my buddies, right? And they need to go to, I don't know, Manhattan Island or something like that, or New York, Minneapolis. Okay, so meanwhile, there's Ray still battling the Americommando, right? And in the air. And I love this shot, by the way. This looks good. He's just punching him. I always love after images, in comics. Spider-Man did that a lot. Superman did that a lot, back in the day, right? So he's using his heat powers to melt his mask. And he says, what do you know? You really are the Silver Ghost. Fool, you never lived to tell anyone. But, they're being scoped out by, I don't know, Rangers, I guess. And there's now helicopters coming in from I don't know, the military or the police. And he says, hey, stop right there. Surrender. And he says, oh, give me a break, says DeRay. Oh, glad to accommodate. Allow me to break your skull. It's pretty on the nose. And then he's going to escape, but then, I don't know, he's just accidentally shooting at the helicopter. The police shoots back, but he gets hit in the back on the shoulder, right, while he's just, I don't know, grabbing the Americommando. They falling down, and Americommando says, ha, I leave you here to die, or something like that. But then when he leaves, there's a guy with blue gloves, and he's finding DeRay to, I don't know, it's probably going to continue the next issue. Meanwhile, Dollman here is still in prison, and he is, talking to Martha, and Martha is, I believe, his love interest. He's a reporter, and then we see, I don't know, a small recap about what's happening. And so he's inventing some kind of a shrinking serum that can turn into a human doll. So his companion says, hey, don't drink it. Well, he does anyway, and he just shrinks. I mean, why would you actually do that if you know that you are going to shrink to a human-sized doll? I mean, do you even know how to reverse the process? Well, it's comics, and actually he can do that. But... and then I said, okay, but who is this girl? Well, it seems, I didn't know, that this was another Martha Roberts. How did she die? I mean, what do you mean, another Martha Roberts? So it seems that the Freedom Fighters actually did not came from this Earth, but from Earth X, a parallel world where we Freedom Fighters came from. But they were Nazi occupied. I thought, okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So... small flashback about the Freedom Fighters go on a mission, and the doctor and Martha, probably her father, I guess, are being, I don't know, found by the Nazis. And he says, "Wer are the verdammt Freedom Fighters?" And he says, "I'm just a doctor. American Schwein, we have ways to make you talk. We will wait. The Freedom Fighters will return here." And then Dollman comes in, and they're dead, and he's losing it completely, punching and pounding on these Nazis. I always didn't like this costume, this with the, bare ankles and legs. I know Robin did that, but I don't know. I find it a little bit different. And his cape. I mean, he cannot fly. I mean, what is the cape actually doing? But hey, what do I know, right? So he's actually really brutalizing them. And he also does this, which reminds me of Ant-Man, because he can, grow to human size too, right? And so he feels very guilty about that. And, she says, hey, don't blame yourself. Meanwhile, Uncle Sam, Human Bomb, and Phantom Lady are, I don't know, at the IDS Center. And she says, well, this is overwhelming. Yeah, real nifty. Just another example of Yankee progress in ingenuity. So they're in civilian clothes. And I always like the cat suits, when it comes to 60s, 70s women, probably 70s women, right? Always looks fine. And there's a burglary here going on. And then, oh no, it's Catman. And Uncle Sam says, tarnation. So he goes in and his head is still destroyed from the last issue, right? And it's Catman and wants to, I don't know, steal Siamese twins or whatever for his new cat collection. And I didn't know he had henchmen. And he's calling them tomcats. So one of these tomcats say, hey, old man, let's see what kind of punch you got. I may be older than you, young fella, but my fist won't tell my age. Tarnation. But he's just landing on his feet because, he's a cat. It's just so silly. So this guy tries the two, but the Human Bomb, he's swinging at, Human Bomb swings at him, but, cats are very quick. Don't you know, guys? And then the third one is trying to attack Phantom Lady. But her powers doesn't work because he can see in the dark. But, she has powers of her own. She's, becoming intangible. And, so there's a couple of fights. And Catman says, well, I'm not going back to jail because of a bunch of nobodies that I've never heard of. This happening, right? And Uncle Sam says, you young whippersnappers never learn that it takes more than fancy footwork to best Uncle Sam. It's just whippersnappers. These 70s speak, man, it always cracks me up. Even Human Bombs, takes off his gloves. And it probably, I said that the Ray probably is the strongest one. But when it comes to sheer raw power, Human Bomb is pretty dangerous, man. Right? But he says, well, even out cold, he lands feet first. So, the whole cat theme thing is really, really on the nose. And like I said, it's a lot of silliness, like here. So these guys are defeating the henchmen, right? And so Phantom Lady comes in and he wants to punch her. And he says, bad enough I got an incompetent gang, but I don't need a boss telling me what to do. No, mustn't hit a lady. And she's doing some kind of a judo moves and... Human Bomb says, he can be a Catman. He didn't land on his feet. Definitely no class. I don't know, man, this cracks me up. It's pretty bad humor, but it's not bad Marvel humor. That's because that's cringe. This is just silly, right? And then we go back. Even this police cop says, hey, aren't you free wanted in New York for something? Tarnation, young fella. Could a man who proudly displays stars and stripes be a criminal? Actually, yeah. And he says, well, I guess not. Wrong. And then, so Dolman explains what happened to this lawyer, and he says, I came on when somebody shot the DA from behind me, and then when I picked up the gun, the police came in, and that's how I've been, being accused wrong for being a murderer, right? He says, you gotta believe me, I didn't shoot him. Even if they do, the jury never will. There's no way somebody could have shot the DA through that door and then vanished into thin air. It's just plain impossible. And that leads us to the next issue that I actually have. So, if this is I'm not sure if this is a good comic, but it's definitely a fun one. And, I don't have much 70s comics, although I'm, from the 70s myself. But I actually like this. So I'm going to continue doing this until I run out of comics, freedom fighters, I mean. and then we see where we are doing, where this is going. So guys, stick around. Thank you so much for watching as always, and like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.